My enlightenment experience didn't come about through meditation, didn't come about through mindfulness, didn't come about through following any kind of philosophy or spirituality or religion. It came about purely by accident, and it came about because I lost my shit and I flew into a rage. The actual experience is going to be very difficult for me to talk about and for anyone to relate to. So what I'm going to share with you is the lead up and what I've since figured out happened in that time, which has taken me 20 years to do. But here's the thing, in the midst of the experience, my very first thought was, I have to figure out how to get back to this state, not just for myself, but for everyone else. If I can figure out how to get back here and how to show people how to get back here, like I can't overstate this enough. There's no problems in this state that I'm about to try and show you. There's no suffering. Everything just settles, and it's not this blissful over the top state. Everything just settles. Okay, there's this deep sense of peace, and at the same time, there's this real sense of animation and aliveness and connection. So let me give you the lead up. At the time, I was staying on like an active community. It was an organic farm. I was staying in a little shack that was away from everyone, and you had to walk across to the shack to get to it, across these paddocks. And as I was walking across one day, I started to get the shits with myself. Now, I'd been on this kind of seeking, searching path for a few years. I was 28 at the time, but I was walking across and I was like, and I had a mohawk and weird clothes. And I was like, God, look at you. You think you've got it all figured out, but you don't. You're not happy. You're living in a stone shack with no electricity, no water. There's one wall missing. There's a snake under the bed. And you think you've got it figured out. Now, to be fair, I was just enjoying the experience, but once I got back to the shack, I started to lose it. I started to get really angry and I started to just throw shit and hit shit and punch shit. And by the end of it, like, I was full-blown rage. Now, you don't need to go to those extremes, but I was ripping my clothes and I was screaming. And luckily, I was away from everyone. When all that finally spent itself, I sat down on this chair and I quit. I can't put it any better than that. I wasn't going to commit suicide. That's a bit extreme. But I was like, bugger this. I'm done. I'm out. I quit. I'm just going to sit here and see what happens. And as I did that, as I looked out, everything changed. My life changed forever. I was put into this deepest experience. And as I said, while I can't explain to you that experience in itself, I can show you what happened. Because, like I said, the 20 years following that experience, I've been working on reverse engineering what happened. And here's the thing. This is a toroid, okay? If you don't know what they are, look them up. But basically, in the middle of a toroid, if I can get it to work, is empty space. Now, you can think of this toroid as you, and we live within this toroid, okay? Now, because of stresses and trauma and different things in our environment, that there's this build-up of charge with everything that we do. And so we can get sort of stuck and trapped out in this toroid. So what happened in that experience is that I was able to discharge all that held energy. And I was actually able to go into the middle, into what I call a neutral space. When I went into that neutral space, I then shifted my awareness into the potential space. So I was looking out and there was this connection happened. Because I was in the neutral, I was connected to this bidirectional consciousness. So active and receptive at the same time. That's key. And what that allowed me to do, because my awareness was now in the center, remembering that the center is space, my awareness was able to move into that space, out of that space, and into another toroid. Okay? So I moved out of this into this. It just so happened that this was my environment. from there, back to normal. When I came out of the experience, I don't remember the next few days. I do remember coming out and just being exhausted and falling asleep. Like I said, for the next 20 years, I've been trying to figure out what that was all about and how to do it. What I've come up with is a model of awareness. So I can't take you back to that experience. I call that an amplified version, but I have figured out how to get back to an acoustic version. And there's a process. Now, you can take my word for it, or I can give you a direct experience. So I've put together a video called Dynamic Self-Awareness, and you'll see the link for it up above. And it's 3 direct experiences. There's no explanation, there's no fluff. It's just showing you what it feels like when that state shifts and you can go back into a neutral state. It shows you how you can do that sort of on demand and play with that sense of being in and meeting the moment. This is the key. It's not about avoiding anything. It's not about faking it till you're making it. It's about connecting, using your awareness to connect to and meet the moment with whatever energy is happening at the time. And then the third experience is just a way that you can use this dynamic state of awareness to navigate through life. So check it out. If you want to take it further from there, you can come and see what I've got to offer. But it's a unique way of living in the moment, being connected, and following this, and living within this dynamic state of awareness. It's a non-ordinary life.